What you're seeing in front of me is a model or an MVP. MVP basically is a minimum viable product of a prosthetic arm. And this is one of the products that we'll be talking about today in our assistive technology feature today. Welcome to TECHOVER, the show that discusses all things technology. My name is Brian Tototieno, NTV's in-house techie. Today, we are taking care of those who are not necessarily taken care of as sufficiently as we wish, those who are able differently, or the disabled people. Today, we'll be speaking about how to include them in our learning process through these objects or tools known as assistive technology. But as we always do it, as fast tech news of the week, and then we'll just get into that discussion. This week we focus on the just read budget statement by the CS for Treasury last week. For the fiscal year 2024 and 2025 budget, which runs from 1st July this year to 30th June next year, the total allocation is 3.92 trillion shillings. The Kenya Kwanza government intends to raise most of the budget from internal revenue, with taxes being the main source. However, there remains a deficit of 597 billion shillings, which is 3.3% of gross domestic product. This deficit is set to be financed via external borrowing that will raise 333.8 billion shillings and domestic borrowing, which will raise 263.2 billion shillings. The National Treasury has allocated the ICT sector 16.3 billion shillings. This is a 1.2 billion shillings increase from the allocation made in the financial year 2023-2024 of 15.1 billion shillings. The allocation is set to finance a number of government projects under the Ministry of ICT. 2.3 billion shillings has been set aside for the construction of the Kenya Advanced Institute of Science and Technology KAIST. This is further allocation of the Konza City-based institution, which received 5.7 billion shillings in the last financial year. This is the second time the institution receives funding from the government of Kenya. Konza Technopolis is set to receive more funding in the financial year 2024-2025 budget, with 5.2 billion shillings being allocated for the Konza data center and smart city facilities. For the data center, this year's allocation is a significant increase from last year's allocation of 1.2 billion shillings. In contrast, the allocation for horizontal infrastructure phase 1 has dropped from 4.8 billion shillings last year to the proposed 1.5 billion shillings. For government shared services, the National Treasury has allocated 1.1 billion shillings. The Kenya Kwanza government has championed the digital superhighway since taking office. This year, it gets an allocation of 704 million shillings. On the other hand, the development and acceleration of Kenya's digital economy gets 2.8 billion shillings. The last mile county connectivity network has been allocated 2.8 billion shillings for maintenance and rehabilitation, a huge increase from the allocated 583 million shillings in the financial year 2023-2024 budget. Not under the Ministry of ICT, but the Digital Loans Initiative Hustler Fund gets 5 billion shillings allocation. This is despite the loan kitty racking up 10 billion shillings in defaults since initial disbursements began in 2022. The non-performing loans ratio, or NPL, represent 29% of the total amount borrowed. Very well then, time now for that discussion on assistive technology, and I have a young innovator here, Maxwell, with me, who will be telling us about his journey into this field that is not necessarily talked about a lot, and what he is doing for the people who are abled differently. Maxwell, good to see you, man. How did you first get into this field? Your journey as a student, as a founder, innovator, and then now you are into this assistive technology. What was the inspiration?
So back in 2020, while I was in high school, we happened to have participated in Young Scientist Kenya, and from then we won the Young Scientist Kenya Award of 2020. We got the scholarship to Strathmore University, and we happened to travel to Dublin to just experience STEM as a whole. So Young Scientist Kenya has been channeling me, or has given me a wider perspective of how tech works. So it has just given me a platform to further my dreams. I had always wanted to work with Tony Stark, that is in the movies. And so just kind of embodying what we see in the movies, I now wanted to bring that into reality and come and just alleviate the pains that we have in Africa or in Kenya as a whole. Yeah. It's always a challenge trying to balance schoolwork and kind of now work on Zero Bionic. But I think it's more of passion. So if you have passion in what you do, you always find a way of kind of now creating time for your company, which is like your child, and your schoolwork. Yeah.
Definitely, you are creating for a certain market. I'm keen to know the uptake currently. Have you deployed some units in schools, and how is that going for you?
So we conducted our first pilot tests in Garissa when we went for an outreach program with Young Scientists Kenya. So we have not yet deployed a working model. We're just kind of now iterating on the prototypes and how to make the science better, how to make it more efficient.
What kind of support are you getting from YSK?
As I mentioned earlier, it's through Young Scientists Kenya that I was able to be slotted for Strathmore University. And from there, I've been able to work with the labs at Strathmore University, that is iLab Africa and the Makerspace labs back in Strathmore University. Also, in terms of pilot tests, Young Scientists Kenya conducts the outreaches, and through these outreaches, I'm able to interact with these deaf students. So in terms of getting understanding of how the challenges that the deaf students have, Young Scientists Kenya has been pivotal in kind of facilitating this. Yeah.
How soon do you see yourself deploying this product?
I mean, with the progress that we've made, we see ourselves outside there in the next 2 or 3 months. So yeah, we are hoping for the best.
At the end of the day, this is a business, and so you have to make money out of it. Tell me about the business model.
So with this, it has introduced a myriad of opportunities, that is remote learning for the deaf. So realize that a lecturer in the US or a lecturer in, say, Nairobi can be able to teach deaf students in, say, Kisumu or Machakos or Garissa. So just that gap that is there for remote learning for the disabled community in itself is, say, an avenue that I think has been underutilized. So I think that is one of our main factors here.
Is this your first innovation?
Not really. Back in 2020, we won an award with Young Scientists Kenya. That is, we were doing an artificial intelligence-powered security camera to detect weapons on people. So like for the Westgate attack. So when you enter a room, essentially your body structure is usually a certain way. So if you're carrying an AK-47 or a G6, your body structure is usually altered. So yeah, that was one project that we won with the award for Young Scientists Kenya.
Maxwell, enough talk. I think it's now time to see it in real time. Let's get to the demo. So how does this assistive tech arm work?
Yeah, so the arm basically gets audio data and then converts that audio data to sign, and then sign to audio. That is for the disabled. They're able to communicate with somebody who is not disabled, that is not deaf, via signing. And then for somebody who is not disabled speaks, and then it converts that to signs in the prosthetic arm. So one thing we realize is that in schools, phones are not allowed. That is in Kenya, right? And then there are certain careers that the deaf or dumb cannot pursue. For instance, have you interacted with a deaf engineer or have you interacted with a deaf doctor in Kenya? So you find that it's really hard for them to kind of cope up with these careers. So we now decided to find a way of making them pursue these careers, not being limited by the fact that they cannot they cannot understand certain things. For instance, teaching them things on chemistry or robotics. Those are terms that they are not being taught to the trainers or to the translators for these deaf students. So yeah, just getting an easier way of them being included in these courses or in these careers. Yeah. Yeah, so for instance, I want to say teach you robotics, right? Yeah. So first we'll start with the communication from somebody who is not disabled. So I can say, hello, what do you think about robots, or what is your thought of a robot? So here, it has recognized the voice and then it has transcribed it to the screen. So, for instance, if I'm not able to say or to explain to the student what a robot is, it pulls up an image of the robot or what it perceives a robot to be.
Wow, that's a beautiful demonstration right there of how this is working to bridge that gap in learning. Thank you so much, Maxwell, for making time for us on NTV Takeover. And that was Maxwell, who is an innovator in assistive technology. He's been showing us how this technology is making it easy to bridge the gap between those of us who are normal and those who are abled differently. And that's why we leave it at for part 1 of this show. Part 2 is coming up next with Startup of the Week. Don't go too far. You're watching Takeover. Welcome back to Takeover. This is a show that discusses all things technology. Time now to know our founder this week. Here then is your segment of Startup of the Week. Many African countries, especially in the sub-Saharan region, are built on solid socialism. Just to explain this, students are educated through family and community fundraisers. Weddings are contributed for, and table banking remains a key method of financial inclusion in the rural sub-Saharan region. This social nature of living has brought together lots of Africans in both good and challenging times, but the biggest challenge has always been the accountability for the funds raised. So much so that accountability for the funds has caused irreversible animosity amongst family members and created rifts. Besides this, managing the clutter of inquiries and contributions, constant updates has group treasurers overworking themselves with reconciliations of funds contributed.
Have you ever needed to collect money?
Wangari Stewart and her partners saw this challenge and put together Nobook, a collections application that allows people to manage such social contributions.
We all come a time when we are forced to kind of be a treasurer in a group, and you're like, please do not choose me, because you have to track people's payments, write them down, tell people, oh, this is how much this person has paid, here's how much we collected today. Some people get upset, oh, I've sent you payments, why haven't you told the group? And just seeing that there's a gap in the market right now, and yeah, building a product that is really suited for, as you said, the community and collection ways of African families and friends.
Just 9 months into the fintech industry, they serve a critical mass and has transited from its initial orientation as an SME product into the social collections platform.
Basically, you sign up. Once you sign up, very basic details, your personal information, put in a password, a security question, and then you're ready to set up your first collection. So your first collection is, what are you collecting money for? So you say you're collecting money for a death, or someone has died, or you have a bereavement. So you just let us know the name, you put in a banner, how much you're planning to collect, and we create for you a payment link. And that payment link we send to the people who you need to collect money from, whether it's friends, family. And once money starts coming in, we have connected and integrated with WhatsApp. You can see immediately, Brian George has paid money. You'll get a notification in the WhatsApp group. You've paid this much money, and then as people start seeing that, of course, they'll start donating, and all this, each and every payment that is received will start showing up on the WhatsApp group automatically, by the way. And then we also have like daily reports which tell you at the end of the day, this is how much you've collected. We have pledge reminders. If people want to pledge, like I promise to pay 2K when I get money, they can set that up and we can send reminders to them. And so many other, it's very customizable. So we have very many use cases that use it. So just not for fundraising, we can do it for estate collection, for weddings, for chamas, for events.
They credit their rise to a flexible business model that allows their users to make one-off subscriptions that permit an endless use to the product.
We do a once-off payment, so we are not taking any transaction fees, so you pay to use the service when you need to. So if say you're raising for a burial, you pay for that service. Our prices range from 500 to 2,500 depending on the number of people collecting. If you feel that group payment is too much, you can also pay per member, which starts at 20 bob and the most is like at 30 bob per member. So it's very flexible. And then I think it's really important to explain that we don't hold any of your money. You tell us where the money wants to go to. So if you want it to go to a pay bill, a till number, or your bank account, it goes directly to us. All you're giving us is that subscription fee or that once-off payment, and that's kind of how we make money.
They have been able to edge out competition and stand out through their ease of access to funds that are settled directly into the client's accounts. Currently, they serve 3 key clients who collect maximum of 3 million shillings a month on regular contributions and revenue outsource.
And one thing that our customers really love about us, it's that money goes directly to their account. So that really helps. And most importantly, reconciliation. The platforms like Mchanga are not particularly, that's not their strength in doing reconciliation. Because usually if you're collecting for a large number of people, the reconciliation can be quite painful. It's happening outside the WhatsApp group, in Excel spreadsheets, and we're really simplifying that. We're helping the treasurers really simplify and make that process seamless and easy and just enjoyable and hopefully collecting more.
Rough estimates put the number of chamas at 300,000 in the country, collecting, handling, managing and moving about $3.4 million or just about 400 million shillings annually. They are structured in the nature of merry-go-rounds, pooled resources, cooperative societies and online chamas. As they get online, streamlining operations and formalization becomes a key concern as regulation and surveillance heightens. No book hopes to serve this critical mass with real solutions that serve their needs. And that's our startup of the week. Very well, Kenyans never stop amazing me. Let's finish off with the tech tip of the week and then we'll just close the show.
Hi guys, and welcome to this week's tech tip of the week. So I know most of you like to post photos on social media. So this is how you can ensure that you post the highest quality photos on WhatsApp, Instagram and TikTok. On WhatsApp, go to settings, click storage and data, click media upload quality and ensure it's under HD quality. On Instagram, click on the 3 lines at the top, then scroll down until you see media quality. Then click on it. Then ensure that upload at highest quality is turned on. Then finally on TikTok, just before you're about to post a video, click on more options and then ensure that allow high quality uploads is turned on. That's it for this week. See you in the next one.
My name is Brian with the TNO NTV's in-house techie. It's been a pleasure hosting you here. Stay techie and make tech live forever.